Have you ever wondered if you've lived before or will live again? Are you curious about what happens to your soul after you die? Or maybe you've met someone you're sure you've known before. Or maybe you're just wondering if you have talents, skills, and experiences from a prior life that could help you now. Hi, I'm Brownell Landrum, author of the upcoming We Meet Again trilogy, and I'd like to welcome you to the Life is a Trip podcast. The following story was written and read by Lynne Bell. Lynne was inspired to write My Second Chance when she noticed a derelict building within the ground of Belfast Zoo in Northern Ireland. This, along with the concept of Dejavu, which fascinates her. Enjoy the story.
My Second Chance. There are some things certain in life, like when it's dark and the thick white clouds have blanketed the skies above, that the sun will shine once again, or when the moon has pulled the tide to a faraway place, that it will again come back. What is not so sure in this life is that you get a second chance. Come on, Rosie, hurry up! The train is leaving in 15 minutes. That's my mother shouting from downstairs, screaming in fact in a flurry of stress to get out the door and get to the train station. The train station is a good 20 minutes walk. I know this because I've walked it before. I walk it every week with my mother in the event she needs to go into town and just grab a few things. When she drops these buzzwords gently into conversation, I know I'm in for a day of traipsing around the shops, browsing cotton pyjamas or winter coats. The glimmer of light, though, is that I really enjoy the train journey, twice, although we'd better hurry up. Walking to the train station might be considered by some to be antiquated or be equated to being poor by not having a car to get around. I don't believe this to be true. I believe that it's great to get out into the fresh air and take a walk, and then for my reward, I'm granted a 30-minute train ride up to the Big Smoke. Win-win. Today is different. Today is Friday, and we don't usually go to the city on a weekday. It's usually only Saturdays. Saturdays are the shopping Sabbath, you see. But I roll with it because who knows, I might get a treat. But I never ever ask. Have you got a jumper on underneath your coat? Mum is tugging at the collar of my coat in an attempt to ensure that I've prepared for the elements. She does the same with my little brother, who is tucked so tightly into his buggy that there is little chance of him moving. I haven't mentioned so far in this life that I'm pretty sure I won't today. Yes, Mum, I've layered up. Good girl. Right, let's go. And she takes my hand, as she always does, the way I used to take hers. I've got a surprise for you, Rosie, she announces on the train. Joey, my brother, is playing with his battered red truck on the seat beside me. He's engrossed with how the wheels turn. We're going to the zoo, she shrieks with delight. I am 9, and the thought of seeing a real lion and waddling penguins should fill my heart with excitement. But it doesn't. I don't want to disappoint my mum. Tickets to the zoo aren't cheap. So I smile and say, "Oh, brilliant, Mum. I can't wait." I'm trying my best to show some enthusiasm, but she knows the score. I know her, you see. Know her better than she knows herself. We walk up the steep hill that leads to the entrance, Mum using the buggy for leverage. Have I been here before? Don't think Mum or Dad has brought us here, but it looks familiar. 1 adult and 2 children, please, she asks the server at the desk, and then we are permitted through the steel gates into the zoological gardens. Wait, demands Joey, straining from his buggy. No, Joey, not yet. We're only here, Mum says. And that isn't the cafe, she adds. I look over to my left and I understand where Joey is coming from. Beside us is a beautiful building. It's boarded up and derelict, but I think it looks so pretty. Maybe it was a cafe long time ago, but somehow I know it wasn't. I stare at its form, its circular dome-shaped building with an elegant semi-circular steps leading up to a large portico. Large columns are evenly spaced across a large porch. It's been defaced and spray painted along its smooth concrete sides with artistic versions of words like peace and 1690. It looks familiar. That's the floral hall, I tell Joey, as Mum regards me with a strange expression on her face. What? Wait! Children these days, we're all want. Rosie? My mum begins to ask me something as we are transfixed watching alpacas munching grass. Yes, Mum. I look up into her eyes and my heart stills. Flashes like a Polaroid camera are shooting in my head, and it feels strange and so familiar all at once. We walk along towards the flamingos. Tell me about the floral hall. What do you know about it? Mum asks a little too innocently. But there are questions running around my own head. Did you and Dad bring us here before, Mum? I can't remember, love. Maybe when you were small, before your brother came along. Well, that explains it. That's why I recognise the place. I have been here before. I would feel relieved and happy to file these strange feelings under dealt with if it wasn't for the music playing in my head, the feel of silken material at my fingertips. This is too much. I need to see flamingos and eat Haribo. We walk the zoo pathways according to the map, and I find the way easily. Mum is super impressed by my map reading abilities. I must have fantastic memory to be able to navigate us around these huge gardens so that we don't miss a single animal. Although I wasn't overcome with excitement at coming here today, I have to admit that I love the elephants and the lion is pretty cool. Its deep rumbling roar can be felt rather than heard across the vast enclosures. A girl my age walks past me in the other direction. She has a mobile phone and she's taken a picture of herself. I see this more and more in school and within my small group of friends. It's alien to me. Why on earth would someone want to take a picture of themselves? Surely it's nicer to take a picture of someone you love or a happy memory you wish to cherish. I feel really lucky though, because I feel like I've had memories. How I wish I could remember what they are. We come to the penguins and Mum lets Joey out of his buggy. He's delighted to be set free. I take his hand and usher him to the viewing gallery. There are lots of little black and white cute penguins. Most of them are little statues, and just a few are braving the cold pool. I'm admiring the silky seabirds when I blink and look to my side, and in my horror I realise that Joey is not there. I look to my other side and all around me, but he's just not there. It's like he's vanished. Fear and panic rise within, something I know I've felt before. I must find my brother. Joey! Joey! I shout all around. A few people turn their heads, but my brother does not reappear. I start to walk while continuing to shout his name. I must find him. I walk some more, and somehow something tells me to go to the floral hall. I run a bit, and then I walk a bit. My many layers now a hindrance, but I keep going back the way we came and past the still munching alpacas. As I turn the corner, I see a red truck lying on the ground. Joey! I scream from deep within. Has someone grabbed him and made a run for it? Horror and dread pour through me. Then, just at the steps, I see his profile that I know so well. I run like I've never run before. Come here, Joey! I shout crossly. He turns his head and gives me a toothy smile. How can I be mad? Rosie! He begins. Get drinking, wait! No, Joey, this is not the cafe. The cafe is up the hill, near the tigers. This is the dance hall. You do the twist and the bunny hop and the hand jive here. Okay, Rosie, take me to the tigers. It was a demand rather than a question. It's then that I realise that we are on our own, but it's okay because I know the way. As I take my brother's tiny hand in mine and turn to leave, I am awash with a realisation. I've held a hand right here before. I can hear music now, pouring out down the steps and out into the night air. It's like a distant dream. I cannot move. I am bolted to this spot, frozen in time, a different time. I don't know how long we've been standing there, but I look down to Joey and he's looking up at me with a little frown. Okay, Rosie. Yes, Joey, I'm okay. Shortly after, Mum comes rushing around the corner like some kind of dishevelled banshee. She looks panic-stricken, but I can reassure her that everything is okay. Joey, Rosie, where on earth did you go? She looks pretty mad. Joey ran off with the penguins and I came to find him, I explained quickly, realising that in her eyes, I've been as bad as him. You should know better, Rosie. You should have come to get me. Her anger level has lessened ever so slightly, knowing we are safe, and she is now with us. Sorry, Mum, I just knew he was here. She looks up from fixing Joey's coat and swiftly plugs him back into his buggy. How? How did you know he was here? She asked with a concerned look across her face. I know this place, Mum. I know it really well. Rosie, what do you mean? I don't know what I mean, Mum. I don't know how to explain it. But I've danced in there, Mum. I know all the dances. I met someone in there. Someone I can't remember. Rosie, that hall has been derelict for years. You are only 9. What on earth are you talking about? Believe me, Mum, I am telling the truth. I don't mean that I think you're lying, Pet. It's just that it's impossible for you to have been in that hall. Look, it's all boarded up. For as long as you have been born, it hasn't been in use. What about before I was born? Well, yes. It used to be the best dance hall back in the day. A look of contemplation rests upon her eyes, but she doesn't answer my indirect question. I know, I tell her. Stop saying you know this place. Stop saying you remember it. Stop it. Stop it. She shouts until she sees the tears brimming at my lids. I'm sorry, Rosie. I'm sorry too, Mum. I didn't mean to upset you. It's okay. Let's go and see the tigers, she says to appease Joey and diffuse the situation in one foul swoop. Mums are good at that. On the way home, I sit in silence and think about things. I wish I could remember what I know is true. The hypnotic chug of the train pummels down the track, and it allows me to relax. Soon things are flashing in my mind, and they come and go as quick as the wind. I look out the large rectangular window and admire the quick passing fields and ponds. I can see a football match with yellow and red dotted shirts running around. This is why I love the train. This is my time. My time to remember another little thing, another memory that is so strange and feels like home all at once. I know my name is Rosie, but I also know it used to be Rosemary. I know I go to school, but I know I used to dance every week. And I'd get this very train to the floral hall and meet my Prince Charming at the bottom of those steps. He had a red rose, and I can still feel his hand in mine. Getting through the door and pulling off my coat is a relief. I'm roasted from the walk home. Rosie, Joey, do you want a drink and a biscuit? We are there in a flash. As we sit at the small kitchen table, my eyes drift to the wall of family photos. Mum follows my gaze to an old black and white picture. That's Granny, she says with the saddest of smiles. She died just before you were born. Yes, you've told me before, Mum. I'm transfixed to the eyes that I see every day, to the dimples in those cheeks. Where was it taken? Mum freezes. I'm not sure. Tell me, Mum. It's okay. Somehow I know the answer before she tells me. She's holding her mug of tea with both hands, warming up after our day at the zoo. She's looking into the pool of beige liquid with the strangest of looks on her face. That's the floral hall, Rosie. And she raises her eyes to mine. I know, Mum. Oh, Rosie, she cries and embraces me in the tightest of hugs. I love you, my sweet girl. That's what I used to say to you, Mum, and now I get to hear it again. I get to hear it every day and every night when she tucks me in, just like I used to tuck my sweet girl in. I know I am here for one reason, and that is to live again. I know that I am 9 and I have my whole life ahead of me, but what I also know is that I get this second chance. A chance to take her worries away, a chance to see her smile, really smile. I get to see her live her dreams, live abundantly and smile. For I was gone too early, and now I get a second chance. I turn to her and look into those deep brown eyes that mirror my own and tell her I love her. I know it's Rosie, her 9-year-old daughter, that she hears. My sweet girl, I whisper under my breath as she gets up to wash her mug. I'll always love you.
Lynne and the Life as a Trip group hope you enjoyed listening to her story. Lynne Bell has recently released her first novel entitled J is Just for You, and she is currently working on book number 2. She also loves writing short stories and poetry. You can find Lynne's debut novel on Amazon. Thanks for listening. Hi, this is Brownell. For more of these transcendental tales, please join the Life as a Trip group on Facebook and check out my amusing and enlightening story entitled The End, which you can find on my website, brownelllandrum.com. That's BROWNELLLANDRUM.com. And please look for my upcoming novel trilogy entitled We Meet Again. It's a story about a famous couple reincarnated today to help solve a centuries-old mystery that will change the world.